Well, it starts in darkness. I mean, that's partly romance, but it's true. It starts, it gets made, the work of art happens in darkness. Then it bursts into the light, and then we see it, right? Everybody sees it, hates it, loves it, you know, is stunned by it in one way or another. And that's kind of the feeling that I wanted to express at the beginning of the film. Henry is a very low-key person. Henry's wife, Kathy, is an actress and a very dramatic person. I remember we were having dinner one night, and we'd been kind of kicking this around, and what would this film be about? And Henry was saying, well, you know, it really is, there's rap music, and there's, and I kept thinking, well, where are the boundaries here? And is this, you know, how do we write the proposal to raise the money for this? And Kathy launched into this incredible, unbelievable aria. I still think of it as an aria, about the drama of this, of going into the tunnels, going into the layups, risking your life to paint a whole car in the middle of the night. And I thought, yeah, it's an opera. That's what it really is. And the music makes it an opera. And the dance makes it an opera. This is theater, and it's theater that's happening in real life in my city. And then I really felt it as a film. We may have forgotten and what terrible condition the subways were in, along with the rest of the city and its infrastructure at that time. The subways were a garbage dump, essentially. It was a vacuum of attention on the part of the, you know, civic authorities of the city. And you could argue that what graffiti artists and graffiti writers and taggers were doing was they were filling this vacuum the way they knew how. And in the course of doing it, discovered a capacity in themselves to make something that was transcendent. I didn't only want rap music in the film, didn't only want the music that was, I wanted a lot of that, but I wanted another element that would make it feel like a movie. And I had seen Excalibur, actually. John Borman's, a couple of years before that, I had loved the way he had used Wagner. It just was marvelous. So Sam Pollard, the editor, and I, you know, we started putting this opening sequence together and didn't know if it was going to work, right? Sam had a class, and he was teaching them film editing. So he brought these kids in when I wasn't there, and when I showed up, he said, oh, Tony, he said, I had these kids in here the other day. I said, yes. He said, I showed them what we're doing. I said, what'd they say? He said, well, one kid looked at it and he said, Excalibur. He said, oh yeah, that's the music from Excalibur. And I thought, yeah, exactly. That is what, so to them now it's a movie.
In the 1970s, New York graffiti, rapping, and breaking became the prime expression.
A friend of mine was a documentarian, saw the film, and he said, God, he said, you've done things with music that nobody's ever done in a documentary before, and it's astounding and amazing. You know, but that awful narration, he said.
You know,
how could you do that?
The other thing about the narration is that he sounds enough like me that
really
I keep coming. People assume, lots and lots and lots of people assume that it's me. I moved to New York in the end of 1972. I was a sculptor, and I think I was on the verge of a career change that I wasn't at all conscious of. And these extraordinary cars are coming through the stations, and I was commuting every day. And I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to get on the train and see what was going on. I thought, wow, this would be great to try to take pictures of this. Somebody should be, you know, documenting it. And the pictures that I took were these segmented pictures, which I then made a composite out of in my studio afterwards. I took them in sections. As a sculptor, one of the things I had to do all the time was create sites for proposals. And you know, you make your little model and you put it in a diorama, and you create the environment around it by going up to the site and taking pictures, panoramic pictures, and then splicing them together. So it just came totally naturally to me. Take a picture, jump, take a picture, jump, take a picture, jump. And this one I took 5. I would get information, and I would be told the next day, you know, when somebody did a piece, I'd get on my answering machine.
Yo, Henry, this is Last. I bust out a rooftop on the 6th line. Bright colors.
And so I would know where to go, and I would get there right away, and it really increased my chances of getting it. Because, you know, it's a big system. You go up sort of randomly waiting for trains to come in, you spend all day and you might not get anything. So if you know where to go and what line it's on, it really helps. I had taken pictures for about 3 years before I ever consciously met a graffiti writer. You know, I think at 79, another kid was on the platform doing the same thing I was, and he was the one who said, go to the writer's bench, because all the writers hang out there. For months they thought I was a cop. And because who else? You know, middle-aged white man, what's he doing up on the platform taking pictures of graffiti? What's he doing getting to know graffiti writers? You know, if it wasn't for a major bust, you know, intelligence and then getting everybody together in one spot and calling in the troops. I was doing the fill-in. I was like the toy. This was the apprenticeship, right? You'd go out with the 18-year-old old master of graffiti art, and that way you would learn to paint. Well, after photography came along and began to be used, and especially with my pictures, I had such a big collection of a lot of the master's work. Kids would come to my studio and they would be able to sit and study it. So it sort of changed the way the whole process took place. And that's why, you know, when we talk about Case and his camouflaging the letters, he was determined to make it so complex that even if you had a camera,
I don't think you even be able to read it.
Koch, Ravage, and Cap gave us the plot of the film. It didn't have a plot up to that point. It was just a survey of, you know, I had no idea how it would come together.
When I was fresh, it was a brand new burner. It only ran for 2 days, you know. And he didn't even get a chance to run on the line, just like, pah!
After one of these interviews with somebody complaining about Cap, Tony would say, we can't use this unless we have Cap. This is meaningless unless we have Cap. You know, it's just one-sided of a hand clapping, you know. We need to have Cap. And so I'm rolling my eyes and going, oh my God, you know what that means. You know, because I know what that means. That's the last thing in the world within the subculture you want to do is give him fame. So I was against it. And I was taking the side of the writers and not even mentioning it to the writers.
Were you also concerned about the anthropologist, you know, intervening in the activity of the culture?
No, I'm not that pure. You know, and I was intrigued by Cap too, because I'd never met Cap. I knew people who knew him, but I'd never met him. I gave in, basically. So through the grapevine, I knew how to get to him. You know, he had friends who were playing a double game too, pretending not to know him, but who knew him, and were actually friends of his. And
friends who shall be nameless.
Friends who shall forever remain nameless. So through these connections, I found him, and he was more than happy to be a part of this. But he said from the get-go, he said, you can't film my face. I said, okay, and I'm telling Tony he's going to wear a ski mask, and Tony's going, no, it's not working, it's not going to work. You know, you can't wear a ski mask, but we have to do it anyway because it's better than nothing. So on the appointed day, he comes and no ski mask. And when I brought it up to him, he said, don't worry about it.
People don't know what I look like until now. Until they start going to the movies. They're going to see my face. Big deal.
I'm glad I got Cap. I paid a little price, but I'm glad I got Cap. It's, you know, people still feel betrayed by it. I get that all the time. We knew that it was an amazing phenomenon, and we knew that the film that we were making was showing the world something, you know, that the world generally wasn't aware of, and that this would have some kind of impact. I don't think we had, you know, the sort of vision to understand the extent of it that it would become. Because of the photographs, it's been like a visa to another world that never in a million years would I have ever gotten into. Those photographs gave me this incredible access to meet the most extraordinary people.
It's a gift to me that because of Henry, I got to make this film. There's so many paradoxes associated with graffiti about whether it's good or bad for society, good or bad for kids who do it. It's a tangle that can never be untangled or reconciled. And that, to me, finally, those paradoxes, the most fascinating thing of all about this whole project for me. That finally there is no judgment that can be made. It just is. And you can, the isness of it is, it's poetry and it's beauty.
Brown and Walker, bring the train out from 16 track.
You think you're on? Somebody let me know. Well, everybody in the place put a whistle in your face. Scream it out and say, yo, hit it. You don't stop. I rock the rhythm that makes your finger pop. I said hip hop, and thanks a lot. Come on, everybody, give me what you got. I'm gonna tell you a little story about the Sugar Hill Gang with the pow pow boogie and a big bang bang.
They call themselves writers because that's what they do. They write their names, among other things, everywhere. Names they've been given or have chosen for themselves. Most of all, they write in and on subway trains, which carry their names from one end of the city to the other. It's called bombing. And it has equally assertive counterparts in rap music and breakdancing.
Scream it out and say, I am somebody.
Graffiti writing in New York is a vocation. Its traditions are handed down from one youthful generation to the next. To some, it's art. To most people, however, it is a plague that never ends. A symbol that we've lost control.
I'm Detective Bernie Jacobs. I, in conjunction with my partner, Detective Jim McHugh, are the crime prevention coordinators for the New York City Transit Police Department. Graffiti, as the name itself, is not an art. Graffiti is the application of a medium to a surface. I will show you graffiti, such as the letters on the end of that car directly in back of me. Is that an art form? I don't know. I'm not an art critic. But I can sure as hell tell you that that's a crime.
At the Grand Concourse 149th Street station in the Bronx, graffiti writers gather at what they call the writer's bench.
They're saying that the kids run the subways, that the system is out of control, that 15 and 16-year-old kids are running the system, and that graffiti is a symbol of that.
Nah, I ain't running the system.
Hell yeah.
I'm bombing the system. They're trying to make it look like graffiti writers break windows and everything. It ain't even like that.
Yeah, you know who be doing that, man? Niggas who be high when they come from school is the ones who break the window.
And it's in the graffiti artist's favor to be as cool, calm, and collected about putting his art on the train as he can. You know, he wants to get in and get out without even being noticed, except for the work that's going to come out to the public that, you know, that Monday.
Yeah, we gotta start to rock some straight letters. This one came out alright, right?
That's, you know, yeah, that's the first, that's about the third scheme piece I did, this shit. And that's the TikTok I did in Gun Hill.
What'd you do last night?
We did 2 whole cars. It was me, Dez, and Mean 3, right? And on the first car, in small letters, it said, all you see is, and then, you know, big, you know, block silver letters, it said, crime in the city, right?
It just took up the whole car?
Yeah, it was a whole car and shit. Then it was a, you know, a scroll, like, you know, one of those scrolls. And then on the next car, it was a scheme. It had, you know, a cop character and shit, you know, a police nigga with a stick, you know, and a badge.
What designs you put around the
Society should go down in the subway and lock them all up because they don't have any business down there. It is dangerous down there. people that work down there 25 and 30 years have accidents. But his contention is that he's immortal, I guess, like most 17-year-olds are immortals, right?
It's a matter of getting a tag on each line and each division. You know, you go, it's called going all city. People see your tags in Queens, uptown, downtown, all over.
I can only laugh to keep from crying, because what happens is that I don't really think he knows how silly that sounds. He's going all city. I mean, to what end? And when I ask him, he says to me, well, just so people see it and they know who I am. Nobody knows who he is, and so they see it. And so
It's not a matter of so they know who I am.
So they see it, and then after they see it, so what?
It's a matter of bombing, knowing that I can do it, you know? Every time I get in the train, almost every day I see my name. I say, yeah, you know what, I was there, I bombed it. It's a matter, it's for me, it's not for nobody else to see. I don't care about nobody else seeing it, or the fact if they can read it or not. It's for me and other graffiti writers that we can read it. All these other people who don't write, they're excluded. I don't care about them. You know, they don't matter to me. It's for us.
CC starboard bow.
Slow it down. Slow it down.
What is it? You tell me.
Nice and slow. Nice and slow.
This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. Here we go. Here we go. This is it. This is it. Give me that pound. Give me that pound. That khaki came out nice. That wine was whack.
In the 1970s, New York graffiti, rapping, and breaking became the prime expressions of a new young people subculture called hip-hop. Graffiti is the written word. There's the spoken word of rap music. And then there's the acrobatic body language of dances like breaking.
It started in the Bronx and part of Harlem.
It started in Freeze's house.
Oh, shut up!
His mom used to break. She's
You're all acting years old.
Nah, don't be talking about my mother now.
Well, yeah, Billy, go.
Mom, you just spit on her head about my mother. Boy, you acting stupid now.
In the pants, right?
Break is when you don't have nothing to do and, you know, everybody just stand around getting high just for you.
You make up your own freezes. You got names.
And you call them, you got names for them.
Like what? You want to take like the baby.
It's a baby.
Chad.
A dead freeze like this.
Well, that's one of the old ancient.
It ain't one of the old, because I was the first one to do it.
How ancient can you get? The one when you go like this?
It's called the hump.
It's called the hump.
Man, the headache word.
No, that's the headache.
That's the headache.
And the other one is the hump.
You got a headache.
Oh, you can be
When you got a headache, you go like that, you know. When you hump, you go like that.
Yo, man, this place is bomb.
This is the transit system. They don't like it to be defaced, and they will at times try and go to the extreme and trying to apprehend you. The subway system is a very old one, and I've personally explored some tunnels, and I've found rooms where maps that were so old it might have been like the first train line that New York City had. Call it what you want. Just a lot of rock, a lot of steel. Tomb, dungeon, under the city. A lot of trains, a lot of fun. a lot of art. Art that's going to be a part of New York City's history forever.
Oh, wow, check it out, our whole car lit. Yo, what? Check it out, man, the Satch Quick. Yo, look at that, man. Yo. That's big. Oh.
A lot of writers have been down here, you can tell. Graffiti all over the place.
Oh, check it out.
Years ago, it was pretty much a secret. It was secretly done. People wondered and wished they could do it. Now most people do it. When all the toys are like home sleeping, cuddling to their pillows, they usually have curfews. Come down in the wee hours of the night after the workers done their job. The sweepers did the sweeping they had to do. Just take my time and be creative.
I think it's something you can never really capture again once you experience it. You have like live third rails and like crazy cops who come and chase you out. Even the smell you get, like when you first smell trains, like in a yard, it's like, it's a good smell to like a dedicated graffiti writer, I guess. When you're first against the train, it's like, everything seems so big, like, wow. It's like you're in a yard of like metal giants and like, you're just like, I mean, everything is like so hard and like so steel and like, you're just there, you're like a little dude, you're like in the midst of all this metal and like, you're here to produce something, you know, well, you're here to like, try to produce something.
Oh, I've seen comparable graffiti, not necessarily these particular ones. Each of these cost us $1 million, in a sense, because others went out and tried to copy. Isn't worth it. Well, it is one of the quality of life offenses, and you can't just take one of those quality of life offenses. It's like three-card Monte and pickpocketing and shoplifting and graffiti defacing our public and private walls. They're all in the same area of destroying our lifestyle and making it difficult to enjoy life, and I think has to be responded to. And so I've told you that the response that I think a repeater, three-time repeater should get would be 5 days in jail. Now, obviously, a murderer, if you believe in the death penalty as I do, you want to have the option of executing a murderer. You wouldn't do that to a graffiti writer.
They saw your work over here. I just want to find out what you're filming.
Well, we're making a film on subway graffiti in New York.
So why did you take this particular neighborhood here? What's unusual? Is there more graffiti here than other places? I hope not.
We're here because one of the best graffiti writers lives around here. He writes scene.
What is it?
S-E-E-N.
That's his name?
Yes, that's what he writes.
Or is it a nom de plume?
It's a nom de plume.
You wouldn't tell me his real name.
No.
Why not? Would he get in trouble, or wouldn't he be glorified by it?
Oh, and I'm the type of guy who will never settle down. Where pretty girls are, well, you know that I'm around. I kiss them and I love them, 'cause to me they're all the same. I hug them and I squeeze them, they don't even know my name. Yeah, I'm a wanderer. Yeah, a wanderer.
There's about four numerous reasons why I ain't painting right now. To make a long story short, I'm on what they call a 6-month probation. Call it a 6-month vacation, never mind probation. Now they got a graffiti squad on this line, which there really was never really. Since they come on the line, it's been harder to piece, and it ain't like the old days when a train used to pull into the yard on a Friday night. That train wouldn't pull out until Monday morning. Now when you go to piece a train, you put an outline on the train and you can say goodbye. The train pulls out in 10 minutes later. Or if you're ready to put an outline, you got to chase the train halfway down the track to put an outline on the piece. It just ain't the same anymore. They don't know what they're doing no more. Late, as usual. But I'm here. I show up, though. I show up. Let me see. Well, why don't you do this one, on that side of the wall? You know what I'm saying? No. This one. We gotta have plenty of room, believe me.
The bottom of the piece?
The bottom of the piece, I say about here. All right, you know it's going to go a little bit below the top because we're going to have it on a wave. You know, it's going to be big delays. So I want you to start from about here. All right, maybe even here. Start it from here. Listen to me, from here. You understand what I'm saying here?
I still think it's too big.
Now, your first outline is needed. Always needed. This way you know what you're filling in. No matter how good you are, you can't just go in and just start filling in the air. You gotta have your first outline. Once your first outline is done, then your filling, that takes away your first outline, meaning you don't need your first no more because now you got your filling. From your filling, you put your colors and then your 3D. And if you want background, you put your cloud or whatever. How's this, nigga? I'm throwing a few connections here. I want to make it look like yours. What do you think? I'll make a few bits. All right. Huh? Bits. I don't know, little doodads here and there. Yeah, now it's shaping up. I have about 100 outlines, but I'm shaping up. Nicky, come on. You gonna save me room or what? I didn't do that to yours. Get out of there.
He's making a mess in this house. He cannot sit down without, doing graffiti on something.
All right, when
you really
can't. When you're talking on the phone, you don't doodle on the paper?
I don't doodle.
Yes, you do.
I do not doodle.
You do doodle on the paper.
I don't doodle.
I don't doodle. I just write my name while I'm talking on the phone. What's that? I'm just writing something.
You're telling me that you write your name while you're talking on the phone. In the meantime, you have destroyed your room.
Testing out my paint.
You have no respect for anything. Don't tell me about testing out your paint. You have no respect for anything anymore.
Ain't we putting red, yellow, and red, orange, and yellow in the air?
No, the brown's got to be brown.
I ain't putting no browns there. Ain't no way. Red, orange, and yellow. You want it to stand out. Boom. The whole thing, around the whole works. Red, orange, and yellow. Remember how I did the mad scene with the wall and the color went all around the thing? The mad scene went on the fives. With the walls were falling down, the one I did myself? No. All right, let me explain. Yellow, orange, and a little bit of red. No, yellow and orange around the whole thing, and then we'll put browns and beiges in the 3D. Believe me, I'll show you. Not around the face, fade into the yellow, but a trim of red, a cheap trim. I'll show you after. All right? I'll never steer you wrong, Nick. Rust-Oleum, Krylon, Wet Look, Epoxy, Red Devil. When you hold a can of Rust-Oleum in your hand, it's like holding 3 other shit brands in your hand. It lasts, it covers, and it's not aerosol like Krylon. It just comes out in a mist. It just comes out like paint.
The schools have courses in art. How about the mothers and fathers of this city saying to the kids, that's the wrong thing to do?
You listen to them talk, they sound absolutely ridiculous. He's king of the yakety yak yard. Who died and left him king of any yard? He owns nothing in the subway, you know?
I love robbing paint. I know, everybody knows how you rob it, and he gets me souped up, and sometimes I'll go and get 15 cans at a time, stuffing it in your coat, in your shirt, down the back of your pants. It's mainly with the big coat, and 15 cans, you figure it out, it's over $50. You going into stores, we could go one day and get 100 cans at a time. It's easy, for me anyway. It's, harder on black kids or Spanish kids, because everybody thinks a graffiti writer is black and Puerto Rican, and that's it's wrong, A lot of white people are writing.
What you've got is a whole miserable subculture.
I was raised on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. I went to a sort of strict prep school in the Bronx, right, Riverdale Country School. In attending that school,
I had to walk past the 1 yard on 242nd Street every day. From where I stood, I'd watch the trains pull in and out. I thought, how could a human being have his name on every car? You know, that these guys must either live in there, be allowed to live in there, or just be, like, allowed to, you know, go off like that, right? They're trespassing it. They're beating the system. They're getting their names up, right? We've drenched the city with our names, right? We're trying our damnedest.
On his cake, we gonna jump through the funk like we got no break. I'm EJ Rock and I can pass the test to get down with the rappers from the east to west. This party please, that party please. I'll funk them all with the greatest of these. It's EJ Rock with the master beat, the boogie funky sound that moves your feet. Somebody say, get up, get up. Somebody say, get up, get up. You party good, you throwing down, you compliment this funky sound. Pump me up.
We caught a freshly painted double R, and we spent about 3 hours in it.
That's impossible.
No, it's not. We were tagging with the unis, then the minis, then the Marvies, then the pilots, then the flow pens, and we were doing clouds around the tags and 3Ds on the tags. We just, for the double R's to have a clean car back then like that, we just had an orgasm.
Pump me up.
1970. The idea of getting your name up, not just in your neighborhood, but everywhere, was invented by a kid named Taki, who lived on 183rd Street in Washington Heights. Taki 183. As soon as everybody understood that it was a name, they realized that Taki was famous.
Taki 183 was the first guy, even though they say Julio Teofor started before him. But he was the one that made it famous. Then after him, in them times, was Papa 184. Then came up Junior 161. K-161, they were bombing too. Stage came out around 1971. He was all 32. Barbara, Eva, 62, they were girls. Everybody was writing. Well, that was what everybody was talking in them days.
Somebody say, get up, get up. Somebody say, get up, get up.
I got into graffiti just like riding the trains when I was younger, you know, looking at, you know, old writers' shit, you know. Like a lot of new writers around, like they, you know, you talk to them about a lot of old writers, see, they don't even know what you're talking about.
I started in 1973 or 4 during very early years of initial bombing, very important years of graffiti bombing, because if it wasn't for those years, I don't think we would get where we are today.
That was the life back then. That was happening. Everybody was pioneering back then. That's when all your developing happened, your bubble letters, all that kind of stuff, your wild styles.
Wild styles. Yeah, you don't have to do straight letters to have style. Anything that comes in your imagination adds on to your own individual style. The arrow. Everybody's got their own arrow. I like that, though. Various arrows. Some guys have on the letter arrow. That was their connection. Some people had different arrows just going right through their pieces.
The funk is here, so you can move. We want to make your body move. Pump me up.
Colors, designs, style, technicals,
Just get loose.
cartoons, everything. And when they see you got a vicious style, they be wanting to get loose about it, you know, and that's what keep it going.
Sparks graffiti.
Right,
We
keep
have other
sparking it.
You know, I know a lot of good writers, you know, and all the writers that I knew, you know, they used to get up, so they used to tell me, yo, Trap, won't you get up? And I started getting up with them. We started doing pieces. Then I met Dez,
One day, I came to the bench and I seen him sitting there looking at the pieces. You could tell a writer, you know, like you go to the bench and you see him as the trains go by, he'd be going like this,
You know, he have ink stains on his clothes.
He gave me outlines and stuff like that to practice.
I can't let him go for at least 5 minutes. You know, or he'll destroy the piece. You know, I'll turn around, Chop, what you doing? You know, I want to do my own piece. I said, yeah, but you know, follow the outline.
Rush. What's up, man? You know, I'm chillin', man. Slick Rick. In the Asian Bay.
For about 2.5 years, I was upstate. From like beginning of 1970 to 72.
What's up? Yeah, what's up?
When I came home, I ain't know nothing about no writing, no graffiti, because I wasn't about it.
All right. You know it. What's up, man?
So when I got home, I seen writing on the train. I said, what's this stuff here, you know? These niggas doing their names big. I said, let me do one at least, you know, because I was, you know, down with art already. And I did me a piece, just, you know, for people in general to get to know who I am. I said, ooh, that look all right. Well, I'm gonna go every Sunday now. Next thing I know, I started getting better and better. And as I realized I knew to get better, I said, oh man, I'm gonna bring out the computer rock. And then that's when I really got loose, because then niggas are saying, yo, who's that guy? Then one day, these news reporter people was on the train station. We was going by and we seen them. We seen them filming our whole car. We went up to them and I remember I said, yo, who you think probably done that right there? You know, just to be curious to see what they say. And he said, I don't know, but whoever done it, that's some remarkable talent, you know? I ain't never seen nothing like this before. I said, if I told you I did it, would you believe me? He said, I don't know, I can't say, but I believe so, because you don't never know what you can believe these days. So I said, well, I did. And then he said, I don't believe that, you only got one arm. I said, that don't mean nothing. I do things that people don't realize I can do with this, you know, being that I'm like this, you know? And then he said, I hear you then, Sonny. And then I said, well, I ain't no Sonny now. I just was asking a question, sir, you know, so that's all I wanted to know, to see how your feelings was about it.
Do you want to dance? What's up? Get some candy? Huh? Ain't get nothing? Straight up. Get some candy, man. You ain't got no chance? Oh. Hey, check it out. What you know? Check it out. Where that nigga at, man? Yeah, I can dig it.
We going on the other side, right?
Word.
Oh,
yeah, what up? Check it out. What up? The Beachmaster, do you want to swing?
Right here, look.
Are you willing to take a chance? Ha.
Instead of that eye, just
Yeah, word, look at that eagle, word. That's it, look at the eye, it's like his eye. You know where he got that from, right? Von Gold and who? Frank Rosetta. Beachmaster.
The way the letters is breaking up.
Epic adventures of a new kind of hero. That's what we're gonna be, the fresh extraterrestrial brothers, you know what I'm saying? Extra to less, knowing we're the best, you know what I'm saying?
It's a Desi Des and a Casey Case, the D5. We gonna rock the place. And if you're based in the place, you will get disgraced because we are the crew. We got the place.
Rock socket, rock it in the pocket. A socket, rock it in the pocket. Say what?
That girl front of the train took her to the doctor, so I'm on again. Stabbed that man right in his heart. Gave him a transplant for a brand new start. Can't cut through the park.
Cause it's crazy after dark. Keep my hand on my gun, cause they got me on the run. I feel like an outlaw. Broke my last glass jaw. Hear them say, you want some more? Living on a seesaw.
Glass everywhere, people pissing on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the noise, got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice. Rats in the front room, roaches in the back, junkies in the alley with the baseball bat. I tried to get away, but I couldn't get far, cause a man with a touch truck repossessed my car. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
But I know one thing about graffiti, man. Niggas say it played out, niggas say this, niggas say that, but it's gonna keep going on, you know? Cause look, I might be old and quit, you know, but you coming up, younger niggas is coming up, it's gonna keep going and keep going, you know? So you gonna be a king soon too, you know?
He's like a son to me in a way, you know. I look out for him, he looks out for me. You know, I won't let nothing happen to him, you know. He won't let nothing happen to me if he could help it, you know. But I know from his age, he's 14 now, you know, and I'm 16. By the time he get my age, he'd be like one of the best people out, you know. And if he continues to go on in the years, he could be another Picasso.
Get funky in the place. Get funky in the place. Life ain't no more a joke, it's a serious thing. When you're dealing with the acid that you can't explain. It's the funky beat, and it's the funky beat, and it's the funk, and it's the funky beat. Yeah.
Like a little jelly bean, I'm a sweet like a candy cane to make you get down. This is #1 stain on the train, just grooving like a St. George. Just break it up, yeah.
The idea of style and competing for the best style is the key to all forms of rocking.
Seek it on the freak like a little deep. You rock it all.
For the rap MC, it's rocking the mic. For the B-boys, it's rocking your body in breakdancing. Or for writers, rocking the city with your name on a train.
Get funky in the place. Get funky in the place.
Right now he's doing the footwork with the original breaking came out. Yeah, he's doing the baby and the turtle.
The back bridge.
Yeah, did the head spin and then just went up. That's called spin.
I got a certain backspin that I made up. Want me to show you it? I started off doing like this. And landed like that. Alright. So then I just decided not to do the freeze and keep on spinning. So it goes like this. I put my arm right here, and it's easy, and I push my arm and swing my left leg, my right leg, both of them around. Swing your leg.
Other crews, they're not as good as us, you know, because we have the breaking form, you know, the
Original style.
Yeah, original
Most of the
style,
guys
you
in the
know.
crew are original.
Other crews like Dynamic Rockers, you know, they bite usually.
Yeah,
They're not
they
as,
bite. Let me tell you about these people. Dynamic Rockers.
1, 2, 1, 2, party people in the bass. Rock steady again, Dynamic Rockers. Rock on to the break of dawn. Crazy Legs in the house.
This goes back when I used to go out to the road scene, United States of America in Queens, right? I used to go over there to break against all of them and take them all out, you know, burn them, make them look stupid. And, you know, they had no kind of style at all. They was beginners. And I've been breaking way before them.
We started doing better routines than they were. They got to a point where they got mad at us because we was taking them out with our moves, and then that started getting out of hand because they had the crowd and we didn't.
Yo, whoever ain't in rock steady or dynamic, get behind the barriers.
Yo, both rockin' crews, can you please listen? Yo, nobody's listening to me.
We're not gonna start until you move.
Rockers, get ready.
Upright, it's just like humiliating, you know, doing things in people's face and all that. And down rocking is, you know, trying to see who can compete against whose moves on the floor.
I was looking at a winner on the 33rd floor. All of a sudden, there was a knock on my door. It was son of Sam, a winner 44. Then it blew a hole straight through my door. So I went to the back to get the gun. I was out 2 bullets, had only 1. I shoot the shit, yeah, shot him in his eye. Never saw a white man jump so high.
So who won the rockin' contest?
You all know we took them out, right? Put it this way, we're out of sight and they biting.
They bit my turtle into a hot.
Niggas is biters to their
I
name.
could have cried when I seen it. You know that faggot that was flying around there with his funny legs and shit? Yo, man.
He's in gymnastics. You
Yo,
gotta be in
so what?
gymnastics.
So what? That's not even breaking, man. That's all fairy flying. I call that fairy flying. You know?
Who goes for Rocksteady? Dynamic Rockets. Hold it down. It was a tie. It was a tie.
Well, I'll be back for more. They here. D.O.B. T.O. Mike C. Hey girl. Peso. D.L.B.'s rockin' it, yes he is rockin' it. Tito's rockin' it, yes he is rockin' it. Mike C. rockin' it, yes he is rockin' it. Peso. Rockin' it, yes he is rockin' it. We're all rockin' it, you should be rockin' it, rockin' it, rockin' it.
How do you fill up a train like that? You can't do it overnight. Do you wait for the same train coming back into the same station?
Nah, you get the park train and you just.
Oh, you mean you go to the train
Yeah, like the
yard?
layup or the train yard.
Does your mother wonder why you come home with that all over your face?
No, she knows I write the graffiti. I told her, I said, I'm going up on the trains. I'm gonna go write some graffiti.
Does she ever worry you might get in trouble?
Yeah, she says if cops call, don't come running to me.
I never realized it meant so much to them, you know? I just thought they were writing anything, but I guess it has a deep meaning. Huh? Well, like he said, he's writing his girlfriend's names, and he's Dust, whatever that means. What is Dust supposed to mean?
It's just a name. It's a word, you know. See, it's a game. It's like they give you a name and they say, here, take this name and do something with it. Like he got the name Scene. He can walk around and just say, hey, my name is Scene, and I'll say, yeah, I see that there, I see it there. It's a name. It's just like I'll give you a name and you say, hey, how big could you get this name up? How high?
Trains are routinely washed, but because of the graffiti problem, we have to use a graffiti removal solution, which at best is detrimental to the physical makeup of the train itself.
This is what I'm assigning. The car wash. 8 a.m. to make the yard. Hold your nose.
We spend a lot of money replacing broken and damaged side windows. We cannot use acrylic plastic windows in the train because the same graffiti removal solution fogs the windows.
The problem often is that often it doesn't produce a sparkling clean car, but rather a sort of vomitous color, which is some of the graffiti artists argue less attractive than what they consider to be their artwork. So it's altogether sort of an unsatisfactory result.
Watch out, you might get wet. Watch your shoes. It's not the best smelling stuff, but so far it hasn't hurt. You know, it hasn't bothered me. Some fellas it bothers.
That's my money that's being diverted from providing me with good, safe, secure, rapid transit.
Look at this, Chuck. Graffiti doesn't make your life better. It just makes your neighborhood look worse. You know how I made something out of my life? By using my hands. But only in the ring. Don't use them to mess up the walls with graffiti.
I practiced all my life to make moves like that.
And I worked every day to be a singer.
So if you really want to make something out of your life, use your head.
Or your voice. But don't waste your time making a mess.
Make your mark in society, not on society. This happens to be a poster that is the first in a series that's going to be used in New York City subways and buses, where we've used Hector Camacho, who's a boxer, North American lightweight champ, and Alex Ramos, boxer, leading middleweight contender. Take it from the champs. Graffiti is for chumps. Make your mark in society, not on society.
It's really very clever.
Put your mark on society in doing something in society. I've screwed it up a little bit, but nevertheless, you got the message.
Realistically, you think it can work?
Well, you say realistically. I'm hopeful that it will work. Nobody thought that we would be as successful as we were in the campaign against the drought and water conservation. Nevertheless, if that worked, I'm hopeful we will have equal success here. Time will tell.
Mr. Mayor, are those posters graffiti-proof?
Time will tell.
What you doing, B? Fresh?
Yeah,
It's
this
fresh?
is one of my little signature series joints.
Word. Lord, son, you getting fresh on a nigga, man. That nigga still got the touch, boy. Butch with the tiger skin.
I see you did the case with the cease this time.
And you know who I am, though, anyway. You know the king of what? King of style. Shoot, I got styles already that's more complex that nobody know about. I mean, super duty tough work. See, this is just like what I would call it. But if I really get into it and start camouflaging it, I don't think you even be able to read it. Don't go nowhere. Little semi thing here. It wasn't no severely bad accident. It's just that I got burnt by wires, that's all. A long time ago. Electrical wires, and then they rushed me to the hospital and they just had to amputate. Cause my tissues and muscles was burnt bad. You know, I was young, I was playing, and I wasn't, too sure on what I knew what I was doing, but I just didn't know not should I grab a wire or not. And I don't know if I grabbed it or not, but I know I just, got hurt. Cause it had knocked me out, so I didn't remember, But it don't mean nothing in general. I mean, I'm okay. It's just that it was a bad thing to happen at the time, But that's why people's amazed about me now, because of going through that and then dealing with what I'm dealing with, even though it's common little bull crap in a way, People look at a person, what, you ran on trains, or you vandalism and all that? Yeah, I'm vandalism, all right, but still in general, I know what I'm doing. I did something to make your eyes open up, right? So why is you talking about it for,
From here, up, nobody goes with me. It's my labs, definitely. Because this is a beautiful spot to do pieces on. It ain't hardly no riders know about this place. My spot. Niggas know, believe it. Niggas know. Yo, here, take the cans. I am not a graffiti artist. I'm a graffiti bomber. There's two styles of graffiti that are trying to, coexist with each other, but it ain't gonna work like that. Blood wars, buddy. Blood wars.
That's why graffiti's ruined. Like Cap ruined the 2s and 5s. The 2s and 5s used to go to the 2 yard. It would be like a masterpiece art gallery of burners from all these dudes from the Bronx and Brooklyn with Def Wild styles. Now you go to the 2 yard, it's all destroyed. This guy named Cap with his Lucille Ball hairdo, all your burners.
What's up, Sal?
Yo, what's up, man?
I seen your new pieces, man, on the 2s and 5s. Yeah.
Like, they went over that side men.
Yeah, I know.
Cap.
I wouldn't mind if you would have went over one of my old cars, but that was fresh. It was a brand new burner. It only ran for 2 days, And he didn't even get a chance to run on the line. Just like, and they went over, and I feel, that hurt me, And Scene was with him and PJ. And then I called Scene up, and he denied it.
I can't afford to get involved. There's a war going on, as you should know. PJ and Cap against everybody.
He just crossed me out anyway, so I don't know why, but brand new car, too, he wasted.
Let's say this. I stand behind them if they had a good cause for the situation. As far as it is now, they have no cause behind it. They're just doing it for the hell of it, which that ain't me, because I wouldn't want people to go over my pieces, so I wouldn't go over them.
He's disrespecting the line, which no other guy was doing that years ago.
All he does is silver throws. You got fresh color pieces full
No, you
top to
can't
bottom.
get him back. You can't make up for what
And he'll just laugh at you. It's just a throw up. I got a million of them running, so what?
He's a jealous toy, that's all, because
That's all there is
he
to
can't
it,
do a
bro.
burner and shit.
He can't do shit.
He can't even do a straight letter.
He went over this?
Yup, he did a cap throw up over me and an MPC over this and wrote war next to Fat Albert.
Oh,
You get him, man.
You can't never make up for that.
You gotta get that nigga on the
That's never forgive action.
If you a toy, it gotta be stopped. And this guy's a toy, and he's big, and he still gotta be stopped.
He gotta be stopped. You gotta break
Yo,
his
but how come we
arms.
waited all this long? How come there's so many writers that he went over their burners and we're not in his neighborhood with crews?
Because nobody wants to get united. That's the
Yo,
shit.
that's
We gotta get
Everybody
together,
talks a
bro,
lot of
'cause
shit. Everybody says, yeah, we're gonna get down, right? But nobody comes, man. Like, what we gotta do is meet everybody on 149th Street at the bench.
It's
in Grand Concourse.
We should forget all the other bullshit worries that we got with each other,
Yeah.
unite and get this toy, because he's
Yeah.
dogging everybody.
Cap, I don't know, some big white boy, I don't know.
Some toy.
I don't know. I don't want to know. Yeah, that's what he's doing, trying to get attention and revenge, because people go over his throat. You know, people do burners, you see a throw up, you're gonna go over it. Who thinks Cap's throw-ups are worth being on a train? Nobody.
What you write, bro?
I like Mayor, man. Mayor.
Mayor?
Yeah.
M-E-A-R?
M-A-R-E.
M-A-R-E?
Yeah.
Ma.
Man. Man, Mar is M-A-R. But nah, seriously, you know, you gotta kill them dudes for doing that, you know.
Who's Cap?
Cap.
Cap is right here?
People don't know what I look like until now. Until they start going to the movies. They're gonna see my face. Big deal. Anybody tries to screw around with me and my friends, I go over everything they got forever. Everybody from Brooklyn to Manhattan. Everybody. That's the way it is. Especially with me, the object is more. Not the biggest and the beautifulest, but more. It's like a little piece on every car is what counts. Not one whole car on every 30 cars that goes by. Once you start going over someone, you can't stop. So I'm gonna live. Thus, started pulling some shit with me, and I'm telling you, he's lucky you didn't catch him by that wall. Because if we would have been there, even if you were shooting a movie, it would have just been boom, boom, boom. And that's the way it would have went.
He's gonna get crossed off, I guarantee, by tomorrow, once they find out it's here. Help me with the 3D, Nicky, come on. The piece has got a lot of colors to go in there yet. But with the color, we could do that. We could do that with no problem. I could do it before it gets dark, no problem. Colors, colors, colors! Colors!
But that was a beautiful wall. I really like that. People like that, they deserve getting everything they got crossed out forever.
For the past 20 years, there really hasn't been anything hot. There have been no movements since pop art. Any retailer, and let's face it, a gallery is indeed a retailer. They're always looking for something hot that they can merchandise and sell to the public.
It's almost as though these pieces were peeled off the train and put onto canvas. So you have the same energy, you have the same coloring, you have the same intensity and the same big piece that you would see on a train.
The real subway graffiti that's done on, on the trains is slowly dying out, and this is taking its place. The lifespan of an average piece today only lasts a few months. This is something that could last a lifetime.
Blondie seems to be an important figure within the graffiti art style. Kane has used her in a very photographic way. Knock shows her expressionistically.
I'm a colorist myself, I'm an artist, and it's exciting. The color is exciting, the movement is exciting, it combines all kinds of movement.
We had ABC TV, we had CBS here tonight. You know, we're going to be on the news tonight at 11 o'clock. National Public Radio.
Do it up, baby. I love it.
I'm Ron Powers. I'm a reporter with the Associated Press. How long would it take you to do something like this?
On a train? Depends what your schedule is. Like, I can't let my mother know that I'm going to the train, so I have to be back early.
But I did meet a guy here who's an art critic from the news, and he says he gets so goddamn mad every time he sees this that he walked up to one of the artists at the show tonight and said, "How would you feel if I took a can and wrote on your graffiti?" And the artist said to him, "I kill you, man."
As an investment, I feel so strongly that if you get in on the bottom of anything, it's got to be a good investment, and this is definitely going someplace.
But I think that graffiti on the subway cars were a symbol of New York for foreign people, and especially French people. And I think it's a little sad if graffiti are going to be only on canvas and not anymore on trains.
Forget about the trains. Who wants to be dirty and hot at the same time?
That's right. I'm into making money.
Yeah, it feels good. You go to school and your teacher says it's not worth
They don't
anything.
believe it.
You don't make any money from graffiti,
Yeah,
and you
that's
tell
right,
them.
boy.
When was the last time you made $2,000 in a month, huh?
Making 4 and some change.
There you go. Okay, now you failed.
All right, the thought has crossed my mind. Yeah, if something should happen, yeah, I'll go along with it. But if it doesn't, there's no thing to me, because that's not what I'm out here for. I'm out here to bomb, period. That's what I started for. I didn't start writing to go to Paris. I didn't start writing to do canvases. I started writing to bomb, to destroy all lines. And that's what I'm doing.
How long do you think you'll do it?
Till I'm finished.
Now that you've heard that, you understand what I'm saying to you when I say that I don't understand him. He's out there to bomb, destroy all lines. What have the lines ever done to him? What have the lines ever done to him?
75 cents.
When do you pay 75 cents?
Never, but...
Well, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
We're on the Staten Island Ferry. This is the New York Harbor. This is to signify we're leaving New York with this package of artists to go out and play places where individually they never would play. It'll be in Washington, D.C., Pittsburgh, Chicago, Madison, Minneapolis, Iowa City, Detroit, and Toronto.
Being professional, what does that mean?
Getting paid for what you do. Professional.
Having your own style.
Yeah.
And doing your own moves.
Don't let nobody else bite. Doing it for a long time, knowing what you're doing. Being the best.
Special K, Sunshine, Kumo D. On time, feel the heartbeat, feel the heartbeat. We're the treacherous three, we got a new heartbeat. Hey. Yeah. Get loose, Mosey, get loose. Just rock heartbeat, show 'em you got juice to have fun, have fun, have fun, have fun, have fun. Party people got a brand new treat off a well-known tune we call heartbeat, but we jazzed it up and we broke it down. It came out with a brand new fucking sound. Now I came here to get this straight. Our heartbeat's not on a normal rate. 'Cause when we get excited, our adrenaline flows. And this is the way our heartbeat goes. A hop, skip, and a jump, but not play no bump. But a bump, 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 bumpity bump. It's a brand new treat, and it sounds so sweet. The rap and the music, our new heartbeat. So feel the heartbeat, so feel the heartbeat. We're the treacherous three, we got a new heartbeat. Huh!
Considers the professionals.
I think it's about time the politicians came down and looked and saw what is on these trains. It is just awful.
It shouldn't be that way. It should be clean, and the ones that are caught should be
cleaned it. They should clean it, the ones that they catch on doing that.
What's the sense of paying 75 cents when you have to ride graffiti trains, you know?
It gives a terrible impression of the city. And if you think the outside is bad, I've been riding them, like I say, for 40 years. The inside it's just unbelievable.
It's a violation of public property.
I think it's disgusting.
They should at least get somebody to clean up the damn place.
We move 3.5 million people a day. They have rights too.
The people see the outside of the cars when the trains are pull into a station or when they're passing on the express track. And then it's generally a blur. But I don't think the public finds that nearly as intrusive and ugly as they do the inside graffiti.
He hates the inside.
He hates the inside.
Yeah.
He said if any possible way of we giving him some kind of suggestion of how to get rid of the inside, he said there might be a chance of negotiating with the outside.
Negotiating.
Something like that.
I met with a group of them one day, more out of intellectual curiosity as to who they were and what made them tick. I found them surprisingly articulate. They expressed a strong sense that if their outside paintings were left untouched, that the public would be impressed.
We came up to him with like a proposal to paint 10 cars inside and out and let it run in like the major stations.
And let people vote on it, like let's say during a 2-week period. And after the 2-week period, they'll have, you know, the results in the paper. And I think the MTA will be embarrassed.
I thought there was no basis whatsoever in which it was proper for anyone to touch our property in an unauthorized fashion.
They got guys out there that are mugging people in the subways, stabbing people, throwing people into the tracks and all that.
Right there.
And they're wasting their bullshit money trying to get us.
With all respect, I think you are close to falling into the sort of trap of the 1960s culture, which says, you know, this society has left these kids with not enough to do. If the kids have energy and want to do something, we'll give them all brooms, we'll give them all sponges, and they can do something that is publicly productive, useful, and that would earn for them the respect and approbation from their fellow citizens. It isn't the energy that is misplaced, it's the value system that is misplaced.
It's great for the riding public to be up on the station one cold and dreary day and see a nice white shiny car come pulling up to the station.
The public has knocked us for so long, and we are doing nothing. It couldn't be done. We proved that we've done it.
We painted 409 cars in approximately 8 weeks. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and not one day did we miss that production schedule.
Our personal pride was hurt. A lot of people have been knocking the transit authority, and we wanted to show them that we could do something. See, if the Japanese can do it, we can do it.
The stuff is like razor blades, about 2 inches long, and there's one of these every 2 inches. There's really not too much protective clothing you can wear to prevent yourself from getting cut. And once you do fall into it, it's so structured that it collapses upon you. And the more you try to move, the worse off you become.
Just like, you know, when you see in the movies, like in Apocalypse Now, how they used to protect their lines and their barricades. They want to hold back the enemy from destroying our trains.
About 3 years ago, I decided to suggest to Dick Ravitch that they put a dog in the yard to keep the graffiti vandals out. The MTA rejected it, and they said, no, that if you put a dog in the yards, the dog would step on the third rail. Now, I don't happen to think that dogs step on the third rail, but I said in response to that, well, if you think the dog will step on the third rail, then build 2 fences and have the dog run between the 2 fences, and that will keep people out and protect the dog from stepping on the third rail. And the response was, well, maybe somebody will climb over the fence and the dog will bite them. I said, well, I thought that's what the dog was for, but if you're afraid of having the dog bite such a vandal, and here I called upon my prodigious memory, I said, what you should do then, instead of using a dog, is to use a wolf, and have a wolf run between the 2 fences, because there is no recorded case in history where a wolf has ever attacked a human being unless the wolf were rabid, mad. Now, as a result of telling that story innumerable times, I embarrassed the MTA into building the fence around the first of 19 yards. And it was so successful, they now claim it as their own idea, and they're building 18 more fences.
I think it's stupid. The idea of having all this barbed wire and fences and protection, trains are still going to get written on.
They invented the white elephant. It's still got, well, they weren't bombed, but they had little mosquito bites. I mean, call it what you want. They were still written on. They're still not spotless completely.
Dump Koch. Yeah, there you go. That is the highest praise imaginable because obviously I'm getting to them.
Say, yo, man, when's the last time you won a piece?
Who's doing it?
There always will be graffiti. It's a part of New York. It'll be there forever. Someone will always want to jump down on a track or while the train's moving and just take out a can of paint or a marker and put up their initial.
He still shows me all his things, which I don't even want to see. But we still talk. And he tells me just about everything that goes on. Other than that, I wouldn't really be able to tell you so much. And like sometimes, and knowing all this, right, it just really only makes me that much more fearful for him.
I felt that I just had to let him know, you know, like, because sometimes when it's time to go bombing, you know, you got to go late at night, like in the middle of the night, you got to leave the house at 2 o'clock just to go bombing so you don't get caught. You know, she got to know where I'm going. Can't just say I'm going to a party. You know, parties don't start at 2 o'clock.
Not every kid would tell his mother where it's going.
Yeah, well, I'd rather let my mother know what's going on, you know, than to keep in the dark. If I get busted, cops call, excuse me, we have your son for graffiti. You know, I'd rather, you know, let her know that I was doing it, so, you know, she's prepared to come and get me out. But never getting busted, so don't have to worry about that.
I mean, an adult, I just couldn't see an adult ever like putting that much energy to something that isn't gonna pay or is gonna risk their life or have like possibilities of them getting arrested.
Well, I see myself as eventually growing out of graph and getting married and living the lifestyle, you know, and making good money like that. And when life is in its best, you don't really want to run around in the trains. I'm sure I'll come back every now and then, just to let people know I'm still around.
Oh, no, when I come back, I take over, and that's it. After that. And after that, after that.
The six. I'm king right here. I'm the prince of the six.
After that.
He's later, you know, he's with a has-been.
I'm what they call a has-been, and he's a wannabe.
A wannabe.
They consider you a king?
Put it this way, I am a king. I could
King
say
of what?
I want to tell you, I am a king of bombing.
You got to be able to take over a line with insides, take it over with throw-ups, top to bottoms. You got to do everything. You know, if you specialize in one thing, you know, you really can't call yourself an all-out king.
Who's king? You looking at him right here, my brother, the original. You know what I'm saying? Kingdom Islam, Nation Guard, for I'm the one that rocks so far, you know what I'm saying? Always rocking the jazziest Cardet, you know what I'm saying? The only and the original magnetic king, and that's the one that's still sitting here doing his thing. My nigga cool, I motherfucker, baby! You know it, tell him we all live. This is the original old master killer of the Manila Thriller right here that you're looking at. The original king and loves to do his thing. Don't shout, don't run, don't hide, don't sky. This is me coming to you natural and live on CB. Whatever. CB without the mic.
Get funky in the place. Get funky in the place.
Like a little jelly bean, I'm a sweet like a candy cane to make you get down. This is #1 stain on the train, just moving like a stage jaw, just break it up, yeah. Stage jaw, like a roller coaster ride, like a make you bump. Just grooving with the rhythm as you shake your rump. You got the rock, you don't stop. The baby, yo, you got it now, rockin', you don't stop. Just hip hop the day, yeah, Scooby-Doo, yeah, Scooby-Doo, what you wanna do, crew? Just freak out, yeah, baby, just freak up, yeah, baby. Drink it up, yeah, I don't mind, dear. I can rock you out this atmosphere like a gangster prankster. #1 banks got much cash to make you think you rock on until the break it on, break it on. Keep it on. I know ZZ that can rock quick. I like the iconoclast, hands your rhythm to the stick. Just rock on like the finger lick. Finger poppin', hop poppin', don't stop. Bunny rock, you don't stop. This is the melody called the rail bell. The rock, so in the rhythm that a shock can spell. When you shake up, kick to wake you up in the morning. Gotta rate with the rhythm like a #1 groaning. MC quick, just to make you peanut butter. Shock with the rhythm, I'm a #1 undercover. Bring it up, just shake it up, rodeo. Bring it up, just shake it up, rodeo. I'm the melody down with the funky sound, like it makes you break. With my diamonds to the ground, just to making you dip like a little bit of dive, like a brat, just to making you high. Rock on until the break it on. Just freak out, yeah, baby. Shake, rock, body rock, a hip and a hop, like a RPMs. My nose don't care about the rhythm that breaks, because the music is down. That when your body wants to shake, got a hip hop there, baby dog, get down, let the rock, just shock your tone, just break it up, shake it up, yeah, baby, because the groove just rocks like a little shady, just shade it up with the glasses, or make it on with the serious pattern. Get the melody quick, get the melody sound, now to rock it quick with the #1 crowd. I can beat up on the groove that make you shake down, cause the beat from the depths of hell make you get down. Rock on to the beat, freak it on with that kid unique. And just check it out, check it out. I said a broke get to a decibel, yeah, and then I shot across top of how. I went to tail, yeah, break it up, side to hill, and shake it up with the writings on the wall. So get down, just damn it up. Rock on, you don't stop, jam it up. Rock on, you don't stop. The beat boy, rock on, you don't stop. Freak it on, break down, don't stop. From the depths of hell, rock well, Romeo, rock on to the beat. Yeah, candy cane, get you rock it so sweet, cause I'm a jam on, hip hop, I'm making the tip top. Shake on the break down, the needle on the eye, and grooving with the rhythm of the break of the shot.
Rock deeper in the halls, drinking OE brew. Never wanna go to school when that's a fact. So all of a sudden you got left back. Now you feeling real low and mighty hurt, and your friends are snapping on you like you're a jerk. Now things are hard and you're feeling depressed, and your mind can't function cause you can't pass the test. You're saying to yourself, what can I do? I can't go home, I might as well quit school. Jobs are hard to find, everybody knows, and you can't do crime cause you're on parole. No education is a big disgrace, and so you might as well work at the sanitation. Can you get my drift?
I washed my face with that, this little rag. You couldn't
like, that's what I'm saying. Throw it down, and then just wipe my face off. Straight. I have to take my t-shirt over once over. Sitting under that light, that's having me sweating crazy.
I don't think anybody, even a visitor from another planet, has not heard about graffiti.
Step on my toes, you better look out for a knockout sandwich, because I'm going to give you one. Free at the cost, too, you bullshit.
Where do they do their work?
That's a trade secret. Yeah. I mean, everyone knows where we do it. They just don't know how we do it. That's the thing. What are you doing here?
Rocking this boat. Rocking the boat.
What I think about people like you who love graffiti, I think you're crazy just like the people who do graffiti.
What do you want to know about it?
How did you start?
My art teacher in high school kind of started it. Blame the art teacher and the Board of Education. They started me. The city of New York started me graphing.
Usually in high school they do encourage you.
Totally, but they don't usually encourage the New York City subway system.
Not at all.
As a medium.
When you hold these people up and say they're artists and you put them very much in the public light and lionize them, I think you have to realize that what you're doing is establishing them as peer models. They begin to say, that's my goal in life. But where do they practice it? They're going to practice it on the subways, they're going to practice it on the public buildings. What's different about that than holding up as peer models somebody who's a successful gambler or somebody who has been successful in any other kind of illegal narcotics and so on, and if you show them with all the trappings of success and that becomes a peer, you are having a whole generation of people who begin to copy that.
You know, it's the age-old thing they've been saying, that graffiti represents the fact that the system is going out of control. And as more and more graffiti goes on and the layers build up, well, that just stands for how much more we're losing control.
They see us as vandals. We're not vandals. You know, you have some fuck-ups that come and break the car windows, you know, kids, and, you know, they mess up the train, you know, that's not us. But we can't do nothing about that. Yo, man,
We have a lot of respect for the trains, not the system, mind you, but the trains themselves. And I think every graffiti artist out has a real understanding of how, you know, both how the system works and how each train works.
In certain ways, they are more knowledgeable, but it's a peripheral knowledge and it's a topical knowledge, and it has no depth or substance. I was mandated to come in front of this camera, Tony. I'm a soldier and I do as I'm told. As a professional police officer, and specifically one who is actively involved in crime prevention, I have misgivings about this mission, if it were. That's a personal feeling as opposed to official departmental position. Okay?
And that car me and Kel did, we put transit, we caught you sleeping.
They're equating graffiti writers with every other kind of criminal on the train.
For the most part, almost 99% of this is criminal conduct. Secondly, these youngsters were tracked over a 3-year period, and I believe the figure is correct, over 40% of them went on to greater antisocial conduct.
We did arrest during a 2-month period, over 400 kids who had committed acts of vandalism and graffiti on our system in an effort to get a profile of who they were, and it didn't tell us very much other than that they were young and that they did not have criminal records. So they were not the same people that commit individual felonies on our passengers.
People don't have it in their mind to go into the yards and break windows and destroy the trains. Without the train, they don't have anything to write on, so why would they want to stop the train from running?
If they want to court danger, that's an excellent way to do it. Subway tracks are not a play place.
The Transit Authority was somewhat curious as to how we were going to come down here, and I do believe they were quite shocked when they seen how easy the entry was through the exit that we came in. That's just one of millions of easy paths to the Iron Horses.
We're now coming around, and people are a little annoyed, a little tired of this messing in the subway. I think they really are. And I am afraid that he is going to wind up in trouble down there. Most of these kids that he's with, they're not doing anything. They don't feel like doing anything. Almost nobody goes to school on any kind of regular basis. There are, like I said, lots and lots and lots of very talented people out there that can draw, right? And if he is not going to do something to add to the talent that he has, it's not going to do him any good.
Oh! Yo, when did you do that? We did on Halloween night. You know, me, Dead, Skin, Me 3, K2, Part. We all chilling in the yard. You know. Really? It's a fresh ghost and a pumpkin with a butcher knife stick. Who did that ghost? Me, man. You ain't threw it down.
It is no more an art form than when you go to Egypt and you go and you visit the pyramids or the Sphinx, and you find someone putting his name there back in the 1800s or earlier. That was graffiti, and today we'll look at it and we'll say, well, isn't that interesting? It was graffiti then, it is graffiti now, and anyone who does the same thing on our city walls is in fact engaging in graffiti. Shouldn't do it.
Sometimes they get snotty and tell us leave the yard and all that. We leave. We come back an hour later. Niggas think we went home and shit. Third rail crap. Let them build all the fences they want, and they'll still see fresh shit.
You know, we didn't invent the wheel. I mean, good fencing, proper lighting, proper security management procedures are like apple pie and motherhood.
The remover is a can, a big can, that takes off any kind of paint. They're meant for graffiti. so then the train got like, it's like a clear plastic stuff they got on top of the paint. Me and my partner Shik, we used to spray the trains with it, and that takes off the paint. Then you use some primer, you do your piece, and when your piece is finished, then you throw some varnish on top. Then when it goes to the buffing machine, you know, that they try to clean it up, you'll pass maybe 5 or 6 times, 10 times, and they'll be like surprised because it can't come off.
Oh shit, don't come on.
It's like tank and the anti-tank. I mean, you build a tank, and you say nobody can get into that tank, nobody can destroy it. Then they build an anti-tank weapon and it destroys it. Then they build a bigger tank. That's what life is all about.
Oh, there was a big meeting between the MTA and the graffiti artists.
I think that was like a setup.
For what? To meet the writers?
Nah, that because right there the DTs could see your face.
I don't care.
Nah, but
they know the way I look.
But look at it this way: if nobody showed up, you know how bad we would look.
Like Mitch, he didn't go because he says right there they see your face. They see you any day on the train or one of them DTs, and then they see you with a bag. You think they're not gonna tell you what you got in the bag when they know your face? You're busted right there.
Those that continue, hopefully we will arrest them, convict them, and send them to a work service camp for 5 days and see if that doesn't deter them.
Definitely, that's a bummer, you know? I don't want to go to Camp Koch, not me.
Whether the paint is for graffiti, which is an art form, or whether the paint is for any other purpose, it's still stealing. And this is the on-the-job training that these toys are getting.
I've been to community meetings where people have said, well, why don't you use the Saudi Arabian solution? And I said, excuse me? And they said, well, when they catch someone doing a crime in Saudi Arabia, they cut off their hands. And I looked askance. And it's kind of frightening to think that a large majority of the population feels that strongly about it.
What do you feel about the reaction in the Village Voice to the transit worker?
The critic or whatever from the Voice thought it was pretty humorous, you know? The letter was written by a gentleman who was responsible at that time for manual cleanup of the interiors of 6 cars. Yeah, the letter said that that they had a big red pipe, that they were waiting for me, that if they caught me, they would split my head open, that they were goddamn tired of this wanton vandalism, and until other publications like the Village Voice stop treating these 2-bit assholes like heroes, this vandalism will never cease. To him, I would have to say, if you're sick and tired of burning your hands, buffing my graffiti, then simply don't do it. He should not be forced to work under hazardous conditions. That is a situation that is far out of my hands.
Let me just say that you never end the problem. I'm hopeful that we will reduce the problem and get a handle on it, and hopefully there will be a great diminution of graffiti in the city of New York. Do I expect to wipe it all out? The answer is no.
My name is Trudy Mason. I'm Director of Government Affairs and Community Relations for the MTA. I've gotten to meet some of the writers. They heard about me. As one of them told me, they said I was a cool dude and somebody who they could talk to. Some of it, and this is my own personal view only, is not bad artwork. But again, it is doing something illegal. It is doing something, it is vandalism, no matter how you slice it.
Yo, why do we do pieces here?
Because everybody could see it from the highway, man. You know that. It was a virgin wall.
You think this shit will be here for a long time?
Yeah, man, it's gonna be here for 100 years.
But to go back further, the first original Outsides was more or less like Joey and Billy and something like that, you know, girlfriend and boyfriend thing, you know? Like everybody used to write on the walls. That was the first
Mr. Paul, remember Mr.
Stay
Paul?
High, Stay High was like one of the first people to take his tag and like
form it on the outside of the train.
Make it a little wider and a little more bubbly, so that it wasn't just that one line out of the can, that he had an actual outline.
Stay High, Chi-Chi 133, Flick, yep, and what's his name?
Sunny 107,
Dr. Cool,
Big 149,
Big 149, and a few other old writers from the old days. Case 2 was an original from the back of the old days. Piper, Purple Haze, Moses.
When you started, how old were you? I was 14.
What year was that?
That was in late 76.
Alright, this is a... Wait, hold it. Stop the machines. Please, stop. Alright, Bill. What are you doing on my piece, Bill? That's one of your old extensions.
What? Yeah.
That's one of your old extensions there.
Yeah, but that's what you like, old
Yeah,
time.
I like that. I like that old stuff. By the way, this is a... Come on now, I can't do this. Billy 167, he was back around in the old days.
When did you start?
About 1970.
You started on canvases, then you moved on to trains.
Well, eventually.
Right?
Depending on how you're talking, because I went to the trains first.
No, first we both started out doing insides. And
those
then
are trains.
Aren't those trains? But then you never did a piece.
Aren't those trains?
Until you did
Tell
canvases.
me those aren't trains.
Yes, those are trains, but you
Very
never did
good.
a piece.
Very good.
Do you do insides on your canvases?
Yeah.
No,
I put a
not
tag.
really.
I put
But
a
you
tag
don't
on my
bomb 'em.
canvas. I don't wanna.
Other people made up wild style that was good, you know. Other people made up crazy, you know, bubble letters and all that type of stuff. I always liked this style, such as real hard rock block commuters, you know, like Computer, and just do it nice, you know.
Yo, you notice that Knock look like one of his characters?
Yeah, he do. See, we be dogging the ones, man. Dogging the 1 yard and shit. Them scheming spanks. Scab 2 intact.
He's either going to wind up in trouble down in that subway, with Transit Authority police, or getting himself hurt some other way, or he is going to wind up hurting somebody or getting hurt in these ridiculous fights that they have about somebody crossing them out, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Mickey, what is this about Captain PJ going over you?
What is it? I don't know. I was friends with them, but I don't know what happened. I called him up. He was talking to PJ, and at first everything was all right. I told him what I was doing to the Sixes. I was making it colorful, no more, destruction and throw-ups and whatnot. And he said, okay, but I still am going to do it on the Sixes. I said, go ahead, but, I'm going over them. I'm going over whatever throw-ups I see. I'm going over my own,
Everyone's crossing each other out, and I kind of wish it was all
squashed.
All that bad stuff. But you can't have graffiti without, bad news.
The people who can do good things don't want to do them on these lines because they know they're going to get gone over.
Tracy told me that in the old days there were rules in graffiti. And the big rule was you never went over an older writer. I've been writing a while, and I guess a lot of guys are like, they definitely just cross my stuff out. There's no doubt about it.
It's a sign of non-talent, obviously. It's a sign of someone trying to gain their fame by slashing someone who's either already got fame or who's just someone who's just trying to, get his work together. It's a bit depressing when you do a whole car. You go down there, you know what I mean? You spend 6-7 hours, and then someone comes along with a magic marker and puts a line through it, It's stupid,
Why do you say Esplanade is your tunnel?
Because it is.
People have been piecing in there for a long time.
Yeah.
CIA was there years ago.
CIA was?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I was there, they wouldn't have
there.
been. Crash.
Piecing.
I get Crash respect. Tell you the truth, I can't remember one Crash I went over. People I went with, lying through it, things like that. But that's life. I ain't gonna tell them not to. Just like they don't tell me not to.
Ones looks like shit.
That's because I ain't been on them in a while. That's why.
It's still happening, it's just not happening well. Cap is making a problem on the most respected lines.
Riders came to my parents' house and crossed out my parents' house in my mother's car. That's how out of hand it gets these days. And I don't even live there. They threaten his mother, my mother, us. It's part of the whole war. They don't like my friends. I don't like their people. And we all go over each other, at one time or another. But they go out of their way to go over people. That's all they go and do. They, get their paint together and just go look for other people's pieces to go over. Fresh pieces, they love them fresh. And you can get hurt for that. And they will get hurt for that,
There's always going to be that competitive thing and the jealousy. But that breeds better work sometimes as well, under that condition to deal with, as well as Transit Authority and what have you, Ed Koch.
The case next to the pool, justice is adequate. Before it even got out of the yard, it's a dog.
Case was trying to prove something there. I don't know what he was trying to prove to people, that he can come to my tunnel, Esplanade, and get over on 2 whole cars and let them pull out without even me getting over on that shit. You know what I mean? He was trying to pull something like how much of a king Case he is. Tell you the truth, nobody has style like him.
Yeah.
All right?
Why can't you let them run?
Why? Well, it's a story about Case. Well, I was with Colt and Cass. We met them in the Esplanade station. Everything was cool. They did their burners. Me and Slip did top to bottoms. We left. All of a sudden, bing, bang, boom. The next day, the top to bottoms are rolling, and all you see is tags and crosses over it with the same exact colors that Case was using. Then I seen Case. He tried to tell me something that it was Bumper and Dubin, which are famous for crossing out people's pieces. Then one day I was coming back, and I was going by the bench, 149th. I got off the train, and I started talking to Case, told me to get the people out there, and then he starts talking about some shit, that I'm a big toy white boy. Okay, I'm white and all this shit. Maybe he doesn't consider me as good as himself, which is true. I'm not as good as him, but I have a different way of bombing, I can't see that shit where you have to start pulling at, because I was always cool with him. So that totally destroyed everything I had. I was going over TNT, everybody who wrote TNT, TC5.
Is you kidding? Are you kidding? I don't care if Greenville Giant come by here, I will stomp him. You know what I'm saying? Kick a mud hole in him and still keep kicking. You know what I'm saying? Believe that. Word him up. Niggas is surprised. Niggas who sleep on me better hold on. Hold on to the bed tight.
82 is our present company. Are there any kings left?
Yeah, I'm a king. I'm left.
If he perceives himself as like standing on a throne, there ain't no one gonna take it from him, you know what I mean? King Case is king if he perceives himself that way, you know? But he can definitely say that, and I don't think there's anyone in graffiti who would question him, you know what I mean?
But why do you go over people? Some people that never did anything to you. Why did you ever start? Realize the problems that you've started with a lot of toy riders, that they look up to you, and now they realize that going over people is the only way they get fame. And now there's wars left and right. Somebody has to influence these young riders that that's not the way to go about it. To go over pretty stuff, whole cars, window down.
He goes over deaf niggas, man, and writes say toys, man. That shit is crazy, man. It's crazy. It's cold. Now he goes over his own boys that he hung out with, man. That's crazy.
But is it worth it, all this, to have to look over your back all the time? Look behind your back all the time? You got people, so many people after you?
They got me after them too. You know? So they gotta look. You know?
How about a truce?
Truce, stop it. What are you joking? I'm gonna trust a bunch of people to have my back. I'm walking down the tracks. The best way to get rid of Cap is just kill him instead of making peace with him. That's what everybody says.
Anybody ever take a shot at you?
Shots at me? Nah. It's usually the other way around.
Well, doesn't that say something to you?
I think it says that these people ain't got no balls. I try and kill people, they should try and kill me too. If they don't, they're stupid because I'm gonna get them first. That's all that means. You know, because people start playing with you, they think they can get over on you, and you just have to dog all of their stuff. That's the only way I know to get respect, is to, once people play with you, you have to hurt them. Otherwise, they think they're gonna get over on you every time.
I don't think anybody that writes graffiti deserves respect.
Cass, K-A-S-S. I brought Cap up because the first time we ever did a piece was me and Cap together. The first time ever touching a can with him, we were walking down Esplanade, and we decided, hey, let's go do something. So I did a cast with him, and really he wasn't nothing. He used to walk around with a little El Marco, believe it or not, walking around in, you know, little posts from post to post, Sarge 34, WA, little things like this. And he wanted to get into graffiti. So I told him, listen, I draw you a couple of sketches here, and we go out and we do it. And that's how what Cap is now. If you can do your work, I mean, do it. But if you're gonna fiddle daddle about it, do little craps about this, going over people, it ain't even worth it.
Please, let's not mention toys. They should not get no fame.
You know, in the middle of the 70s, when Lee started breaking with the whole cars, he started a whole new thing on these lines, and these became the lines where you came to do your best shit. Since most of the people be living up here anyway and come from around here, you know, I mean, the Bronx, you know, you can't help but know that the Bronx is where most of it came from. And this, you know, this is it. This is the Bronx. You're here.
Number one. People from Sweden, Japan, England, France have said to me that they think of graffiti as New York. It is New York to them in a positive way. They like it.
I think they're a minority who think it is a positive force. New York is clearly a city of tremendous diversity, and there are lots of things that some individuals like about certain parts of the city. I think on balance, when you look at it in its entirety, there is no question that to most New Yorkers and to most people who visit New York, it is a symbol of a decline and a symbol of deterioration. It does not have a positive impact. It's something that we as a society are able to control.
I think it's disgusting. I think it takes away from the beauty of the city. I think it's a shame.
They should make them clean it up.
I'm embarrassed when out-of-towners or people from the other country come over here. I feel like they're looking at dirt and filth. I mean, even the poorest person doesn't have to make filth and pick their things out on other people and make them suffer for it.
You think it's only poor people?
No.
A lot of them give it a bad name because they're just doing it and they do it real quick. And they get it done and it looks sloppy and it makes the trains look like garbage. There's too many outlaws and not enough artists.
We
ever involved in it yourself?
Many years ago.
No, this is very bad. I mean, really bad.
Gives New York City a bad reputation. You can't even see the stops. It's all painted up too. So sometimes you wind up missing your stop.
I mean, if this is supposed to be artistic, they should have it somewhere separate, you know, a separate place for it. You know, because they are all extremely artistic, in my opinion.
I think if they're going to write graffiti on the trains, they should at least make it look nice.
I think that the idea of having police dogs where they keep the cars, that's what I would want.
Just some of the artwork that you see on the sides of the cars, I think is beautiful. I see nothing wrong with it. The Futura 2000 in particular. Futura's are the Clash right now. Someone does their art behind their concerts and stuff. I work at ITT, I'm in accounting.
Some of it's not too bad. You know, some of the drawings are pretty good. If they could do something to get these kids to use this talent in another way, would be nice, you know. Some of the stuff is really very good. Yeah.
I like it, personally, myself. It's expression. People express themselves. It's the colors, mainly.
It's beautiful work on the outside. There's no way they're going to fix the trains. There's no way.
I feel the trains are not on time. In other words, what do you want to know, like graffiti? Graffiti?
What do you think about the graffiti on the trains?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think that a war exists unless there is a combative spirit on both sides. And whereas we want to get rid of the graffiti, we have no one to combat, and therefore I don't think there is that sense of war. There's a sense of frustration at the Transit Authority, but there's not a sense of we want to go out and really kill these kids. We want to get them to direct their energies somewhere else and to stop touching our property.
I don't think any cop who's assigned to a graffiti unit is going to risk his neck for a graffiti writer or just want to help a graffiti writer. I mean, you know, I don't think so. I don't think it exists. Not at all.
I make a very strong presentation on this cat. I call it a cancer. I also say that it is only a small part graffiti. I've seen some of this stuff.
Well, we hope the peer pressure is going to happen through some of the media work that we're doing, where we have people, and partly in television and partly in radio campaigns, who are saying, make your mark in society, not on society. And the kinds of people that we've used in that media campaign are appealing to what we would call peer pressure. In other words, we have come out of the same environments of many of you who are doing graffiti. We do not think it's a good way to succeed. We think there are other ways to succeed. And I feel that's a very important way of attacking a certain segment of the group.
He's a black belt.
Hi, I'm Crash, and he's not.
I'm Dazed, and he wish he could be me.
This is the first graffiti show.
The first totally legitimate graffiti show in a gallery in
a respected gallery.
In a respected gallery.
So it proves that graffiti is legitimate art. What do you say?
I think you're right.
Thank you, Boris. The money isn't important to me as much as
the
really,
exposure.
Exposure really like counts. Stretching my, my imagination to its limits.
This is very funny. It's a Crash piece.
He wishes his mother had it.
This is a very humorous graffiti piece done by Wasp one of the senior members of Graffiti Productions.
Notice it has a lot of the old writers' tags.
That's because it dates back to the original graffiti movement.
It wasn't really artistic. It was just the idea of getting around, getting your name all over the city.
Getting your name established.
This is funny.
Need you go anymore?
It's a design for a doormat.
This is done by me.
You can see he did this with his eyes closed.
You're really focusing on the background. This is something a guy like him only dreams about.
I'm Dr. Ruth Douglas Mann, and I'm a psychotherapist and analyst. I feel that this is an expression of people who have a need for identity. And I think that this is a constructive expression of it. I don't believe that Carol Bellamy's idea of putting them in jail, making them wash subways will work. The more you punish these children, who tend to be somewhat rebellious, the more they're going to do it. By taking something like this and making them feel worthy and teaching them techniques and giving them money, you'll change them, you'll make society a better place, and you'll produce a whole new generation of artists. Always take the constructive approach. Thank you.
I started writing graffiti about 3 years ago when I was in college because I was kind of like, I needed something to do. I started writing funky graffiti, which is mostly like hieroglyphics, the funky kind of graffiti, the kind you really can't understand. And then eventually I evolved into this New York style graffiti. That's what we call it in Philadelphia.
We forget about the chains because we know after about 3 months they're going to take them right off. That'll be a waste of our paint and time we spent putting it up. So what we doing, we putting it on clean walls and rooftops. That's about it.
And now I'm here to like kind of find out a few new ideas which I can take back to Philadelphia and new styles to make graffiti more of a colorful art.
Nice, really nice.
This is a roots art form. Something that comes from the street, something that you don't go to school to learn for years and years. This is something that comes from the heart and something that comes from the street. And that's where I think its value comes from.
But this art does have antecedents in other kinds of art. It's been compared to pop art.
I find it, though, much less ostentatious than pop art. Pop art, when I think of pop art, I think of Warhol doing silk screening, having silk screen done for him by, 100 Warholites. I think of his Campbell's soup can thing, or Peter Max. I don't think this is pop art. I think this is popular art. Pop art was more of an attitude, has much more of an attitude than graffiti. Graffiti is a street form more than anything else. Pop art was a way to legitimize, I think, bullshit art. I think to call them anything less than artists when they're displaying such a phenomenal artistic talent is just kidding yourself. I think something like this on the side of a train can be beautiful.
I'm not on TV.
I was like...
Viva Rock, Viva Rock. Oh,
New wave.
All right. That is me. That's me. That's the way I look sometimes. And it's New Wave Diva because I'm throwing it in all the bullshit graffiti artists' face. Those downtown Greenwich Village types who think they're really down with graffiti and call themselves New Wave. I am New Wave because I'm out there painting and they're not. And that's that.
Alright, you can do a piece and still, you can do one piece and bomb much insides, like 20 cars, 50, 100 cars, and people will still say you want, the same amount is up as if you was the bomb insides if you do a couple of pieces. So they come out even. A certain amount of insides is equal to a piece, a certain amount of pieces.
Like I said, the answers that he's giving, it's absolutely ridiculous. That he's up, he's this, he's that. I don't even know.
The answers that I'm giving is the answers to the questions. They are not ridiculous.
I don't even know.
Just because you don't know what I'm talking about does not make it ridiculous.
You finished talking?
Definitely.
But me, Shy, my man Cool, and a few other celebrities here. Out of us three, we about the only main old crew here, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So for you people out there in the world, I want you to grab all them girls and I want you to get the ones with the longest curls, so check it out. That's my thing.
If this isn't the piece.
Yes, this is the Fresh Prince.
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, get that Desi, yeah. I did that a few months ago. It ain't no thing. It's a little buff, you know? It ain't no real life thing. Look at that. It ain't buff. And he put up my crew.
It is buff. It is buff.
What was he like when he was a little kid?
Well, what I worry about most, as I told him, that down there in the train, like I said to you yesterday, that there comes a time that I've been around here long enough to see the pendulum move back and forth quite a bit. And, of course, he doesn't understand this, and like I said, he's got this immortality that all 17-year-olds have.
Yeah, it'll always be happening, man. That's obvious, you know?
Well, I like to come down here. I'm comfortable down here. This is like it's like a workroom.
Graph is a lot of relaxation. It's a lot of pride. It's dignity. It's identity.
You're proud of some of your work, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
You feel proud when you see it go by, especially if it's a burner.
Yeah, yeah, say that.
Can you understand that, Barbara? The sense of pride that he might feel at seeing something like that he's done?
I can understand that.
Spank, scheme. Yes, get that scheme and Spank Silver for the film. Yes, I think so.
Damn, look at the colors I threw on that piece.
I think so.
Look at that cloud.
No, I think so.
Yo, look at that.
Yes. Most definitely, you know it. I think so. Yes.
You can still read the one.
I did it.
I know you can see. You can still read it.
I did it last night.
You fucking.
I did that shit last night.
I don't understand why nobody has ever made a film about it, for Christ's sakes. This is a magnificent subject about these vandals and criminals who've taken over the city of New York. Don't quote me.
You ride the subway often?
Do I ride the subway often? Whenever I can, whenever possible. Sometimes I get up in the middle of the night to ride the subways.
Microphone in more.
You have to ask me questions.
That kid Dusty rocking tonight now.
What? That video on TV, cartoons and all that thing, making people do they want to do and swing. But then Channel 13 is doing their own thing because that's why they had it rated X in the 19.